This is a LEGO Star Wars minifigure lot containing over 50 clone troopers. Come along with me and discover all of the awesome clone trooper minifigures in this lot. And shout out to my boy Lego Chan for selling me this lot. If you guys aren't already following Lego Chan, make sure you check out his pages. He's the man. But without further ado, let's dive into this army of clone trooper minifigures. Starting this lot off isn't necessarily a clone trooper, but he is one of their brothers. We have a Boba Fett keychain. This classic Boba Fett is going straight on my backpack. I am so excited to own one of these. This keychain came out in 2006, and nowadays it goes for around $9. Okay, now let's get into some actual clone troopers. We have an amazing one to start us off. We have the Rancor Battalion ARC Trooper. He's got all of his exclusive cloth pieces, which is great, but his backpack was swapped out for a jetpack. And he's actually in very good condition too. What a great start. Next up, we've got another clone trooper from the Rancor Battalion. We have the Rancor Battalion ARF clone, which came in the same Commando Droids and Elite Clone Troopers battle pack that the ARC Trooper did. Our next clone trooper is the Clone Bark Trooper from the Battle on Seleucami set. The print and insignia is really nice on this minifigure, and I really like the one red arm that it has. When you combine that with the printing on the back and front of the torso, you just get a really unique clone trooper. Our next clone trooper is definitely on the newer side. We have the 187th Legion Clone Trooper. These guys are hot off the shelves, appearing in the most recent Republic fighter tank. And come on, it's a purple clone trooper. How can you not love these? They just look amazing. I really like the printing on the front, back, and legs. And hopefully we see these guys sneak their way into a Star Wars show somehow. Our next clone minifigure is a very unique one as well. We have Tech from the Bad Batch shuttle. I think Tech's helmet is one of the best pieces out of the entire Bad Batch. I really love the printing and the mold on it. I think it's absolutely perfect. And he also has this buildable backpack, which is a great detail. Our next minifigure is a great Jedi one from the Clone Wars. We have Stas Ali, only ever appearing in the Homing Spider Droid set of 2013. This is just a really nice looking minifigure. I love the eye color as well as the light blue and tan on the headdress there. And nowadays Stas Ali goes for around $50. Next is another clone trooper from the Bad Batch attack shuttle. We have Wrecker. He's got great printing all around, and I really like the armor piece that they included with him to beef him up a bit. Next up in the lot, we have a classic Darth Maul minifigure. He's in pretty good condition, and we were able to find his hood in here as well. Getting back on track with the clone troopers, we have 4 of the Bomb Squad clones. These only ever appeared in one set in 2011, the Clone Trooper Battle Pack, and there was only 2 of them in each battle pack. So if we do some minifigure math, that means the previous owner probably had 2 of those battle packs. Pretty cool. Next up, we got another Bad Batch clone trooper. We have Echo. I think Echo is a decent minifigure, but he really had so much more potential. Just imagine if this minifigure had a custom robotic hand and a cloth comma. I think if that were actually the case, he would be one of the best clone trooper minifigures ever made, but still a decent figure. Next up in the lot, we have another Bad Batch minifigure, Hunter. Hunter's a really solid minifigure. My favorite part about him is the bandana on his face print with the little skull. I think that's a really nice detail. He also has another face print on the back, which features the same detailing. Really cool. Next in the lot, we have the Clone Commander from the 187th Legion. This minifigure is brand new, only ever appearing in the newest version of the Republic fighter tank. The torso print on this minifigure is awesome. I would have liked to see a cloth comma though. Of all the different legions of clone troopers, this is only the 3rd one to feature a clone with an airborne style helmet. You know, they could have just made this another generic clone with a visor, but they really stepped it up with the airborne helmet, so I think it's a huge win. And we might as well segue that into the other 187th Legion clone trooper. Is anybody out there in the process of army building these? Because I respect you for it. We're gonna go from some of the newest clone troopers into the oldest clone trooper. We got the original phase 1 here. And there are 3 of these clone troopers in this lot, which is an awesome sight to see. These guys appeared in 2 sets, the first Republic gunship in 2002, as well as the ATTE in 2003. And you just can't beat the classics. I love these clone troopers. Next up in the lot, we have another minifigure from that Bad Batch attack shuttle. We have Crosshair. He's got a really cool green visor color, and just like the other Bad Batch minifigures, he's got a great face print with awesome detailing. Our next minifigure in the lot is not a clone trooper. It is the Classic King, only ever appearing in the CMF Series 13 line of 2015. And this minifigure is just incredible. I really love his cape. It's one of the coolest capes I think I've ever seen. And as if the cape wasn't cool enough, he's got that awesome crown and the cool beard neck accessory. Moving back into some clone troopers, we have 2 of the Phase 2 212. And this is actually an amazing lot of 212 clone troopers that we'll come to see. Next up, we have the Rancor Battalion ARF clone trooper, only ever appearing in the Commando Droids and Elite Clone Troopers battle Pack. It has been a long time since we've gotten a new ARF clone. Do you guys think they will ever release another one? Next, we've got a classic Clone Wars Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and they are just so simple yet so great. These might just be the most desired Clone Trooper in terms of army building. Hopefully we got some more of these in this lot later. Next, we have another great Clone Wars style Clone Trooper. We have the Clone Gunner appearing in the original Venator set as well as the Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This guy's got some gray hands instead of the black ones he's supposed to, but I kind of dig it. That'll be a real easy swap out, and this guy will be 100% complete. Next up, we have another great Clone Wars figure. We have Savage Opress, only ever appearing in one set, the Sith Night Speeder. And also within this lot, we have his brother, Darth Maul. I just love these guys side by side. Definitely a great duo to have in the lot, but getting back into some Clone Troopers, we have a Phase 1 Clone Trooper here. This one without the printed legs appeared in 5 sets. Next up, we have the Superhero SpongeBob from the Heroic Heroes of the Deep set. And while this minifigure is completely irrelevant to the Clone Troopers in this lot, it is just such a clean figure. I really like it. And another little guy that snuck into this lot, we have a Bilbo Baggins. Alright, back to the clones. Next up, we have a Phase 2 Clone Commander Cody. In recent memory, I can't really recall a minifigure that had more hype around it than this one. When it was announced that we were finally getting a Phase 2 Cody in that ATTE, people were just so excited, and rightfully so. It's a great minifigure. LEGO delivered really well. Next up, from that same ATTE set, we have the Phase 2 Gunner. I really like the plating and strap that is printed on the front and back of his torso. Really good figure. Next up, we have 2 Phase 1 Clone Sergeants with that green detailing. These minifigures only ever appeared in a quantity of 1 at a time from the Clone Troopers vs. Droidekas Battle Pack. Next up, we have what is probably the best Mace Windu minifigure that we've ever gotten in a set. We have the Mace Windu from the Republic Fighter Tank. The printed armor and insignia on his forearms really take this minifigure to the next level. It's such a small detail, but it really adds a lot. Next up, we have another Clone Wars style Phase 1 Clone Trooper. And for the most part, these minifigures have been in near perfect condition, which is awesome. Next up, we've got some Wookiees to show off. We have the original Wookiee Warrior minifigure, as well as the Chewbacca. Next, we have a pair of Geonosian wings, which is kind of funny because I don't think there's a single Geonosian in this lot. Next up, we have 3 more Phase 2 212th Clone Troopers. And this has honestly been an amazing lot for 212th Clone Troopers. We have a little army going now. Next up in the lot, we have a minifigure that would soon be the Jedi General of the 212th. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi with the breathing apparatus here. This one appeared in the Gungan subset. He's got a cape in very good condition, but his hairpiece is the wrong color. That should be an easy fix, though. Next up in the lot, we have 2 Death Watch Mandalorian minifigures, fully complete, which is great. Next in the lot, we have another Clone Wars style Phase 1 Gunner, and this one actually has the correct hands. And luckily, there are even more Clone Wars style Phase 1 clones here. We have 4 more complete. We've gotten a great amount of these clones in this lot, which is always a pleasure. And there's actually one more that just doesn't have a helmet. Hopefully, I have another one lying around that I can complete this with. This lot has honestly been one of the best army builders that I've ever come across. We have 4 more of the Phase 1 style clones. The 3 without the leg printing appeared in 5 sets, but the one on the left with the leg printing only ever appeared in 1 set, the Jedi and Clone Troopers Battle Pack. And these are all in pretty good condition as well. We went from Gunners to Shinies back to Gunners. We have another Phase 1 style Clone Wars Gunner, and we also have a Phase 2 style Gunner, which is awesome. The Clone Gunners aren't the easiest clones to come by, so it's pretty good that we got this many in this lot. Let's get some color back in the mix here. We have a 501st clone. This one appeared in the Z95 Headhunter as well as the ATRT. Next up in the lot, we have a Han Solo. This is the Parka Han Solo from the 2016 Hoth Attack set. Next up, we have a Clone Trooper pilot from the Clone Wars. This clone appeared in 4 sets total from the years 2008 to 2009. Next up, we have another great Clone Trooper from the Clone Wars, the Horn Company clone, only ever appearing in 1 battle pack in 2011. Next up in the lot is a very cool Darth Vader minifigure. We have the battle damaged Darth Vader from the Rogue Shadow set. I really wish we got more Force Unleashed sets. Next up, we have another Clone Wars style Phase 1 Clone Trooper. And we also have another Clone Wars style Phase 1 Gunner. This has just been an awesome Clone Wars minifigure lot. Next up is one of my favorite minifigures of all time. We have the classic Darth Vader minifigure. When I think of LEGO Star Wars, this is the first minifigure that comes to mind. I'm just obsessed with it. That classic helmet mold is timeless. Next, we have another minifigure from the SpongeBob line that snuck his way into this lot. We have the Bikini Bottom ice cream vendor from the Glove World set. Is there anybody watching this that has every single SpongeBob minifigure? I would love to know. Next up, we have another Phase 1 Clone Sergeant from the Clone Troopers and Droidekas Battle Pack. We've gotten 3 of them in this lot, which is just awesome. Next up in the lot, we have one one of the best droid minifigures LEGO has ever made, the TX-20 Tactical Droid. Only ever appearing in Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, this minifigure now sells anywhere from $80 to $100 regularly. It's a very cool and unique droid minifigure, and it is part of the Clone Wars, so it's great to have in this lot. Next up in the lot, we have another Phase 2 212th Clone Trooper, and we have gotten so many of them in this lot, which is awesome. Another minifigure we've gotten a lot of is the Gunner minifigure. We have gotten so many of them as well. I need to go back and see which one I've gotten more of, this or the 212. And it's not a Clone Trooper lot without the father of the Clone Troopers himself, Jango Fett. I've gotten pretty lucky. Most of the minifigures in this lot have been in great condition and complete. But sadly, Jango Fett's jetpack and helmet are nowhere to be found in this lot. And now that I think about it, there was a Mace Windu in this lot earlier, so I'm pretty surprised Jango's head is still attached to his body. Next up in the lot, we have Gold Leader Dutch from the Gold Leader's Y-Wing Starfighter set. And fun fact, the only thing exclusive about this minifigure is his helmet. Next up, we have the Goblin Soldier 1 from the Goblin King Battle set. And we also have the torso for the Goblin Soldier 2 minifigure. These are two great Hobbit minifigures. Next up, we've got some droids. We have an R2-D2 as well as a BB-8. Our next minifigure comes from the 2019 Millennium Falcon. We have the old Lando Calrissian. And just look at the cloth pieces on this minifigure. They are awesome. We've got a few more random parts and pieces here. We've got some incomplete Clone Trooper parts here and another clone pilot helmet to go with that. I have no idea how our next minifigure became a part of this lot, but we have the Royal Guard from the 2018 Royal Guard Polybag. This minifigure was exclusively created for a toy store chain in London called Hamleys. It only goes for around $8 nowadays, but it's pretty cool to see this thing in the States. Next up are parts to the Lord of the Rings Goblin Scribe. Next we have parts to Hawkman here. I don't think we have his wings, so he's not fully complete. Next we have parts to Cyborg appearing in 2 sets from 2015. Next we've got incomplete parts to Green Arrow here, and we also have a few more accessories. And look at that, we found the hand to complete that Clone Trooper and add one more to our army.